Welcome back to Sky News Business. We are looking now at new penalty powers applying to self-managed super fund trustees who breach their obligations. The changes come into play from July 1st. Those not up to date on tax laws could face a hefty dent to their nest egg. William Buck director Anna Carrabs joins me now from Sydney, our City studio, to tell us now exactly what SMSF trustees need to know. Anna Carrabs, thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning.
Not a problem.
Just give us a background, though, and why these changes are being introduced.
Well, the background is that they were meant to be introduced 12 months ago. The reality is they couldn't get them in time, and it's actually to give the ATO flexibility about how they deal with trustees who have contravened the law. Up to now, there have been very few things that they could do. With this now, at least it will hit people in their back pocket, and they think that through doing this, it will make people take note.
And those contravening the law, I mean, how big a problem is this at the moment when it comes to SMSFs?
Well, if I look at some of the statistics, if I go back and look at 30 June 2013, which are the latest statistics we have from the ATO, there were basically 7,700 self-managed super funds where audit contravention reports were lodged, and there were 18,000 contraventions. So, look, there are definitely quite a few of them. It's not just one or two.
I mean, what kinds of mistakes? I mean, we'll get to what the changes are, but what kinds of mistakes are people making? Some of them inadvertent, of course. Some people probably shouldn't be in self-managed super funds that are. You know, what are you generally seeing as the mistakes being made, or the confusion that's out there?
Look, there's piles of contraventions, but the main ones, once again, looking at those statistics, are things like lending money to a relative or a related party, basically borrowing, the super fund borrowing and not in accordance with the rules that are there, buying assets that basically are in-house assets and aren't really meant for the super fund. So there's some pretty serious ones there.
Obviously, then the ATO is looking to make some changes, as you've said, July 1st. Exactly what are those changes? Explain that to us.
Well, the changes are that if there's basically 17 contraventions that they have listed, and each of those have penalty units attaching to them. Now, the minimum amount of penalty units, each penalty unit is a fine of $170. Basically, the maximum you can get fined is $10,200, and it's the trustee that will get fined, basically, and they cannot use the self-managed super funds assets.
So that's pretty significant. 10,000 maximum. That would be if you're contravening all 17, would it?
No, that's just one.
Oh,
it's
just
per,
one.
It's per contravention.
Okay.
And we're assuming there that you have a corporate trustee, and a corporate trustee will get one lot of 10,200. But you may be aware that each super fund can have up to 4 members. So if they're individual trustees, you could quadruple that. We're talking over $40,000 for one contravention.
So what do people, I mean, self-managed super fund types out there listening to this, what do they need to do to get up to speed? What should they be doing knowing these changes are coming in July 1st?
Well, interestingly enough, they don't just apply to contraventions that happen after the 1st of July. They even apply to things people have done beforehand, and they haven't rectified it by the 30th of June 2014. So really, they've got a month to look at their self-managed super funds, make sure that if there are contraventions, that they're talking to their advisors if they have them. They need to get them fixed by 30 June, and then going forward they need to be aware of their obligations, of the laws in this area, and make sure they don't contravene, because it's absolutely going to hurt them a lot in terms of the monetary terms of what's going to happen.
It's probably a bit late coming, isn't it? There's so many people in these self-managed super funds. Every month people are piling into them. You know, some of this has probably come too late to say, actually, there are obligations and you need to be able to meet them.
Could I say, look, yes, OK, we've only got a month, but the reality is you've made a decision go into this. You need to assess whether this is the right vehicle for you. If it isn't too late to close it and go back into another type of fund. But really, the fact is, you, as the trustee, have the obligation, and therefore you need to take note of what you need to do.
Well, the message is strong, isn't it? I mean, the ATO scrutiny will be intensified from here.
Well, it will be. And look, as I said, I mean, they've given us some concessional breaks. With concessional breaks comes, you know, more scrutiny. So basically, this is just part of doing that.
Anna Carrabs, great to have you on the program to explain that all to us. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Thank you, William Buck. Director Anna Carrabs joining us from our Sydney studio this morning. Stick with us here on